rotating storm, and still getting some indications right here that you could get something maybe trying to be lofted, maybe some debris or something like that. So we're keeping a close eye on that. That's almost like a virtual storm spotter. At night, it's so hard to see the storms that the radar has the capability of seeing what is being lifted into the atmosphere. And it's a real handy tool for us, because if we see that, it adds a lot of credibility to what we're thinking in terms of the warning. So that's what we're seeing right now. Brush Creek area, Hogglesville. This is going to move all the way into, I think, Bibb County. Only a small portion of Perry County is going to be impacted by this, just the very northern end of it, not the Marion area or anything like that. This is going to be northern Perry County on into Bibb County. We do have Jill Gilardi there in Bibb County in a position where she can safely intercept this storm. But I want to make sure, if we've named any city, any community where you are, that you are taking your severe weather precautions, and you know the drill. You get to the safest part of your home. That may be a storm shelter, could be a closet, could be a bathroom. You want to make sure that you are away from windows. Put the helmet on, and make sure you listen to us on the weather app there. And hopefully you got your phone charged up. These things are not going to last forever. It's going to pass over and be done within about 30 seconds to a minute there. But we'll make sure to give you the all clear when that does happen. Hogglesville right now, Brush Creek. This is where we are seeing that potential for dangerous weather. The official warning is going to go until 10 o'clock from the National Weather Service office in Birmingham. So watching a lot of active weather out there right now. Farther to the north, across much of the WBRC First Alert viewing area, you know what it is? It's mainly rain and maybe some breezy conditions. We have not had, at least at this point in time, a lot of severe weather in our viewing area. It's this bit to the south, and this is what we were talking about earlier, Wes. When we came in today and we talked over the weekend, we said it's probably south of I-2059 and west of Interstate 65. These forecast models, when that high-res data started coming in, really painted this area where you had the highest instability and wind shear. And I just saw some cloud-to-ground lightning there in Jill's camera from the Storm Tracker, Wes.
Yeah, we've got the Storm Tracker live, and actually, I know Jill's listening in right now. She's in a great position with respect to the way this is tracking to spot what's going on here. This looks like it's going to pass just north of Centerville proper. I want to go in really close and take you in to this storm. The warning is going until 10 o'clock. So if your weather radio is going off, your First Alert weather app here in Perry County and in Bibb County, that tornado warning is going until 10 o'clock. The National Weather Service also reporting a debris signature right there on the Perry and Hale County line. Now, Marion, this is going to stay north of you. Heiberger, it's going to be close, but it looks like it's going to pass just to your west. You're probably going to have some strong wind gusts right there along State Highway 5 as this passes by. But there it is. It's kind of right in the corner of Hogglesville, Mertz, but it's all going to lift up across Highway 25, running out of Centerville and Brent. So it's going to be crossing Highway 25, Spencer, in the Eolan area. It's probably going to pass somewhere between Eolan and Centerville. So let's go through the forecast radar data. Let's take you into the next hour, and we're just trying to stay on top of where this is going to be moving across Bibb County, and you can see right there the darker colors representing the heavy precipitation, where we may have some large hail moving right there around Choctaw Hills. But Jill's right there at the corner of 45 or Highway 5 and Highway 82 right there in Centerville. Let's go back over to velocity and take a look at this. And this is the live view, and that's what we're looking for, is that red to green. It kind of weakened a little bit, that couplet, but it's back once again. And if you look at the history of this, and this is kind of interesting. Let me back the view out. We have some incredible tools. It almost looks just like the map we were showing you earlier today when we had the rotation tracker showing up on the map. But just kind of follow this along, and you can see how it's kind of intensified, it's weakened, but it's produced. I'm drawing the line here. This is all where we've had the rotation. Demopolis, where we had some of that damage reported, and then right there across Hale County. And if we kind of follow that, that takes that very close to Centerville if it does hold together, just kind of following that path of this storm. And you can see right there around where it shows Brush Creek on your map in Hogglesville how it's really starting to rotate quite a bit again. That's our rotation tracker looking at those inbound and outbound winds. We go over to our triple threat and just give you an estimate of some of the wind speeds. You can see right now estimating over 70 mile per hour winds around Brush Creek and lifting into Perry County at the moment. And if we look at these purples, this is where we're seeing indications of large hailstones. And you can see that's severe, size of a quarter-size hailstones. And they're another update now, and you can see it's just over the county line. So most of us here in Hale County are out of the warning right now. Most of this is now over into Perry County. Another look at the velocity, and as we see this thing get a little bit closer, it's almost like a textbook velocity couplet right there with the red to green ratio. And let's get into some of these roads. County Road 23, County Road 44, Pondville, Mertz area. And here's a look at some of the updated times of arrival. There you go on the screen. Pondville, 9:28. Harrisburg, 9:34. If you're watching in Spencer, 9:36. Goodson, around 9:39. It's moving northeast now at 36 miles per hour. And on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, we see this BTI at the bottom right there at around a 5. That's one of the higher values we've seen all season, at least one of the strongest this severe weather season, JP. Certainly top up around 31,000 feet. This is a storm capable of producing some ice, some hail damage as it moves through as well. So on top of this storm now approaching Bibb County, for folks there in Bibb County, first alert, JP, this thing's getting closer to Centerville.
Yeah, I was looking at the meso-analysis page. I know the weather junkies out there know what I'm talking about, and looking at where we have the highest instability, and it's really right there where we have this possible tornado, where we have this debris signature. In fact, the Weather Service has reported right on the Perry and Bibb County line. What happens as this moves, say, about another 15 miles, maybe 20 miles more to the east? It looks like it runs into a lot more stable air, and that's going to help this storm weaken. At least it should. Basically, what I'm seeing here is where the storm is right now. This is where we have the most instability. Now, we still have a pretty warm air mass, temperatures in the upper 60s, but right now we're seeing that air mass a bit more stable over towards Shelby County, certainly St. Clair County. So as this storm moves farther to the east, we should see some weakening with it. That's going to take a while. It's going to be, you know, another 30 or 40 minutes. But right now, it's not only a tornado threat, but it's also a pretty significant hail threat. Have you noticed the hail track on this? There's a lot of hail with it. We're talking about fairly large hail associated with this storm. This is a storm that's about 35 to 40,000 feet tall, and it is moving up toward the Centerville area. Bibb County, we do have a tornado warning in effect for Bibb County. That is the hail track that goes all the way back toward Demopolis. And just looking at some reports right here, as many as a dozen homes damaged in the Saltwell community of Marengo County. Only 3 original injuries have been reported per the Marengo County EMA, at least at this point in time. One of the reports coming in Saltwell, that's in Marengo County, were injuries to a mother and her 2 children. Injuries are non-life-threatening, according to the Marengo County EMA right now. So again, real quick, and I know we got a live report to go to here momentarily, but toward the Pondville area and Mertz, I want to make sure that you're taking your severe weather precautions. You may have a tornado heading your way. You're looking at live pictures from Jill Gilardi and the Storm Tracker. Have you noticed that lightning really starting to pick up a little bit as Jill gets closer to this possible tornado? So Pondville right now and Mertz, I want to make sure you are in your safe place. Brittany Dion is in Bibb County right now at the EMA office, and you can hear the sirens. Brittany?
Yeah, JP, I don't know what you said because we're down in the basement area of the Bibb County EMA. We've gone closer to the door as these sirens began to go off here in Bibb County. As you can see, folks walking in behind me, a lot of folks coming here to take shelter, as I'm told by the EMA director that they're getting prepared to open those shelters in town. You can see that lightning there behind me. The sirens are going off. So as you've been instructing everyone here in Bibb County, JP, to go into their safe place, a lot of folks taking that advice and coming here to the EMA right now. We were getting a little bit of drizzle, and on the way here to the EMA, a lot of folks were like they were flying to get to their homes and get to a safe place. But we are sheltering in place at this time as we expect this storm to come to this area.
All right, Brittany, an all too familiar sound here in our state. And as we always say during our weather presentation, severe weather happens 12 months out of the year. here we are a couple of weeks from Christmas, and we're covering a possibility of tornadoes. In fact, we've had some severe weather damage across much of the area. By the way, the latest scan on this is looking a little bit better here west. We'll have to check back in, but again, Mertz area, make sure you're taking those severe weather precautions. This is eventually going to track up towards Centerville and West Blockton. We do have some pictures of the damage, and we're talking about some serious damage up around Town Creek. This is in Lawrence County. You can see the emergency vehicles there, and I just want to bring you up to date. At this point, 2 fatalities there in Lawrence County earlier today, unfortunately, 4 injuries. So husband and wife were killed in these severe storms in Lawrence County. To be determined if that was a tornado or not, based on what it looked like on radar. Most likely it was. Weather Service, they're going to figure that out. But 2 killed, Lawrence County in North Alabama, and 4 injuries, at least thus far. And I know one of those injuries was a child. So just passing that along, take a look at those pictures there from Lawrence County. Jill Gilardi in Bibb County, and tracking this approaching storm. We're bringing back up to date with what's going on. And again, we still have that circulation. It's kind of pulsing up and down again. We're seeing the lightning, quite a bit of it on our camera there in the storm tracker. And this is a little bit better news. Our triple threat, remember Wes, when it was showing those severe winds? We're not seeing as much of that right now. As this storm continues moving off toward the northeast, this is a little bit more stable environment, especially as you get on into Bibb County and into Shelby County. Right now, Bibb County under a tornado warning until 10 o'clock tonight, and around the Mertz area is what we're looking at. That's going to put it a beeline for County Highway 5, Centerville, EO line, and also the West Blockton area. So lots of severe weather out there, especially the southern portion of our viewing area that we've been tracking this evening. Damage reports Marengo County, and of course a whole mess of damage across parts of Mississippi and Louisiana as this system fired up earlier today. Wes?
Yeah, JP, and if we can, what I want to do right now, I want to, if you can, back in the control room, can take the view from the storm tracker. We can go full screen, or we could just kind of watch this. This is the storm now approaching Centerville. We just brought you a live report, and we have Brittany there also seeking shelter. The outdoor warning sirens now alerting folks around the Centerville and Brent areas. The possible tornado, if it's still there, producing damage at the moment. It's now 14 miles to the southwest of Brent. So we have very little time. You need to get to that tornado shelter immediately. This thing is approaching at about 35 miles per hour. Was moving a little bit quicker, but we're showing 35 miles per hour. But these storms, they don't have stop signs, and they'll be on top of you quickly. So that's why we always, take this time to get to where you need to go. Now, this is the one storm, the troublemaker that we have tonight. I know we've been telling you about this severe weather threat, and this is what we expected. That's why we mentioned isolated tornadoes. We've had this one storm that has caused some issues out there tonight. We're getting the latest reports where we had a lot of those damage reports. We've heard some of those coming in around the Demopolis area, where this has been really moving through the forest and out around Hogglesville and some of the outlying areas, and now it's getting a little bit closer here to Centerville. But this is a live view. We're live right now in Centerville with a tornadic storm approaching this location here. It's actually going to pass by to the north. Jill's position just a little bit south of this, so we'll get a view as the storm passes to the north. And typically when we're training storm spotters, that's where we like for storm spotters to be, south of the storm. Yep. So that biggest threat passes to the north. But the one thing, the limitation with radar is it can't see below the cloud. So we have to have storm spotters there to actually see what's underneath the base of that cloud, and many times to verify some of these tornadoes. The one reason we've been so confident tonight, even with the lack of spotters out in some of the open area, has been the debris signatures that have been coming in on the radar and seeing that. So let's get you back over to radar quickly here, and I'll show you where this is as we continue to watch this view here from Bibb County. You'll see on our radar screen that right now it's about to crossing Highway 25 here, and less than 14 miles southwest of Brent, Alabama. There's Pondville, and JP, that's where the old National Weather Service site was, and a tornado hit this
Yeah.
site back in the 70s. There was a bad storm that moved through this location around Mertz in the Pineville area. The Weather Service now located in Shelby County, but there was the old Centerville Brent radar that was located out here and tracked quite a bit of severe weather that moved through West Alabama. But now Pineville, that site's no longer there. It's over in Shelby County, but that's what we're talking about. It's just this part of Bibb County, the western part of Bibb County, where the Weather Service site was years ago. And now it looks like Spencer and Eolin, Pleasant Hill, Choctaw Hills. We're watching all those areas.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing a debris signature. I hopped over there on the computer quickly just to see if we were seeing any of that. So that's good news. Doesn't mean that we don't have a tornado, but it means it's probably aloft right now. We've been watching this thing kind of pulse up and down on radar, and you can see it's almost constant lightning. We go ahead and just take that at full screen if you want to. That's from the storm tracker. And maybe in the distance there, Jill's got the truck position. If we get enough lightning, we can kind of see the cloud formations there as this is coming on through. And basically where Jill is in the storm tracker in relation to this, she's probably going to be about 12 miles away, looking down toward the southwest. And this is the tornado warning for Bibb County. We are still seeing some circulation. It's not quite as tight as it was earlier. They're holding on to that warning until 10 o'clock. We do expect this to weaken a little bit as it continues off to the northeast. We'll go back to radar. It's about 7 miles from the Spencer area in Bibb County. It's going to track just to the north of Delph Settlement, County Road 25 there, and there's the circulation where you see kind of the green and the red close together. We don't have that on there for Christmas colors today. That's certainly severe weather, classic severe weather colors when we're looking at the wind and the wind velocity. The radar, this is our rotation tracker. It's not quite as pronounced as it was earlier. We were really showing some serious signatures a bit earlier. There's some hail with this too. So when this comes over your area in Bibb County, you're going to be picking up some hail. You may have some hail the size of say, a golf ball, perhaps, with this, maybe quarter-size hail. But you're going to be looking at some hail, and you can see how it's kind of bowing out a little bit. You're getting some higher winds through parts of Perry County. We've been talking earlier today that we may eventually get this thing to make its way on into southern Shelby County or Chilton County, and I think that may be the case later on tonight. I don't necessarily know if it'll be a tornado warning, but I think you will get some higher winds moving through Maplesville and maybe Jemison and the Clanton area. This is just messy up to the north. A lot of rain up here. We've been around Fayette County. We've seen several little areas where things have tried to rotate a little bit. There's still some shear in the atmosphere. Weather Service has already taken out Winston and Marion counties in terms of the watch area. But look at this right here, Cleveland Mills and Marion down through Hamburg. This is in Perry County. There's going to be some higher winds moving through there. Okay, Jill Gilardi is in Bibb County, and Jill, it's almost constant lightning that we're seeing right now in Bibb County as your position to intercept that storm.
Yeah, usually I don't like to see that much lightning. Sometimes, you know, when you see the frequency really ramp up, sometimes you can get the storm to maybe even produce a tornado. I've seen that happen up in Lamar County before. So the lightning, very frequent. We know it's an intense cell. I'm watching it very closely because I've had to reposition myself. It seems like it has kind of bent a little bit, kind of turned right a little bit. So I might have to have us go back to the east and turn around because I don't want to have this pass over me. As Wes was saying, we want it to, you know, pass in front or south or north or just not in your same direction. So again, it's always one of those things you're constantly looking at data, and I'm thankful I have cell service because otherwise I would not be messing around with this storm because you have to know where it is positioned, where it is heading, and make those adjustments. So I can definitely hear the thunder. It is increasing. I mean, gosh, that lightning is very frequent. I haven't seen that probably over a year, this kind of frequent lightning, and it's concerning when you see that amount of lightning. So we're going to continue to monitor things, obviously provide these live views of this storm as it moves in, but I might want to just reposition because, again, safety is number one. So we'll keep you updated from Centerville. I hope everyone that is in this warning is in their safe place and continues to keep up with that weather information. we'll keep you posted. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, be safe out there, Jill. And yeah, that is almost continuous lightning there in the Centerville area. Pondville is where this circulation is right now, or what's left of it. It kind of goes up and down. Right now it's in a decreasing stage. It's not quite as pronounced as it was, but still some circulation around the Pondville area that is a bit concerning. It's not gone away yet in Bibb County. Jill is kind of our eyes and ears there, and you can see what Jill's showing as that lightning illuminates everything. You can see the cloud formations there. We're not seeing anything that looks like it's rotating or anything like that, but we do have our eye on it. This is moving toward Duff Settlement. Spencer at 9:34, just to update you on the times. Jamesville at 9:37. Going down the list, Brent at 9:40. Pleasant Hill, 9:41, Zulu at 9:41, West Centerville at 9:42, and East Centerville at 9:43. Temperatures out there still at this hour are hovering right around 70 degrees. So most places in our viewing area about 68 to 70 degrees right now. And it's December 16th, unseasonably warm. So still some instability in the atmosphere out there at this hour. We're hoping that wind shear kind of dies down a little bit. And of course, Wes, that does not look as bad as it did. If we continue to see a few more radar scans like that, the Weather Service will let go of that warning, but we have to wait and see. They almost did a little bit ago, and you know what? That thing cycled back up, and then it started twisting again, so they had to go ahead and issue the warning for Bibb County. So we need to hang loose just a little bit. You can see this little area right here, and this is where, I can't read that road right there. Maybe you can see it. You're right on the computer screen.
That's Lake Payne Road.
Okay.
Payne Lake Road.
Payne Lake Road. Okay, Payne Lake Road. This is where we could have a little circulation there, some higher winds. So Payne Lake Road in Bibb County. Want to make sure that you are in your safe place. Also, Duff Settlement. Intense lightning right now. That lightning is going to continue, and you're probably going to pick up some hail as well. Just looking at some information coming in from the Weather Service. They did cancel the tornado warning for Perry County. They do have a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:15 for Perry County. That's been replaced with a thunderstorm warning. So the only tornado warning, at least at this point in time, is for Bibb County. I will tell you, you may have some gusty winds that move through Fayette County as well as Walker County, just to give you a heads up on what's going there. But right now, Duff Settlement up toward the Spencer area, this is where we could be dealing with a possible tornado at the very least. We're going to have some gusty winds and just incredible lightning. This is a big-time noisemaker. Jill is about 10, 15 miles from where this storm is, and those pictures that you're seeing, we'll go ahead and take that up full, because on occasion, when you're watching these storms and you're trying to spot storms, you take that picture up full with the lightning. You can see what kind of cloud formation, if you have a wall cloud, shelf cloud, anything like that. So we'll go ahead and take Jill's picture live and take it full screen if we can. And we'll just hold it there for just about 10 seconds or so. And
very difficult. You know, one time I actually spotted a tornado kind of like this, and that's about the only way. You have to wait on the lightning flash there, but with that constant lightning, you can often catch a tornado. We get a lot of pictures, a lot of reports, and this thing's likely going to be embedded in a lot of rainfall. Just what we're seeing now, the entire storm structure's changed a little bit, and it's almost like one of these lines, one of these bow echoes, where we end up with these little comma head type structures where you have embedded tornadoes, and that's probably kind of a rain wrap situation here, classic rain wrap tornado in Bibb County at this point. Now it's about 8 miles, JP. I was just noticing here and kind of timing this out, 8 miles southwest of Brent. It's right there around Spencer. You mentioned Payne Lake Road, Harrisburg. It's crossing between Spencer and Harrisburg, but our rotation tracker still showing a lot of spin and some high wind energy here in this part of the storm. We could be easily seeing some of those winds gusting over 58 miles per hour with this thing, especially with lightning like this. That is very significant of a severe thunderstorm that's now closing in on the Centerville area. Jill was right there very close to where the Walmart Supercenter is located there around Highway 5 and Highway 82, and it looks like she may be trying to reposition here if it continues to take a little bit of a turn to the east direction.
Wes, let's go back to the high resolution, the velocity. Sometimes the shear rate, that's actually processed computer product, so it delays a little bit. So we're looking right now at our tornado detection. This is what we call the 1 kilometer data. That's looking a lot better. And I was looking at it on one of my displays here. So this is trending in the right direction. The lightning, however, suggests the storm, while it may not be rotating as much, it is still a very intense thunderstorm that is going to have hail in it, may have some high winds in there as well. Right through here, Abercrombie, Centerville, I would expect some higher winds, also down into Perry County. So even though we may be seeing signs it's losing its rotation, let's hope so, you're still going to have those winds that may be over 40 or 50 miles per hour. This storm is eventually going to make its way into Shelby County. I tend to see with the trends that we have here that it is going to weaken quite a bit before it gets into southern Shelby County. But again, if that were the case, it would be moving maybe toward Calera or maybe even into Chilton County, into the Jemison area. But I have seen several radar scans on this, and it continues to show some levels of improvement. Notice this. What Wes is doing is going to rewind this. You see
I wanted to go back and just show you. You can see how it's weakened.
Yeah, watch the red. You see the red. Zoom in on that, and folks can see that a little bit better, Wes. All right, right here around Brush Creek, you see that red and the green, and here it goes. We go forward through time. It's still there, and by around 9:32, it's starting to disappear. So we like that. Doesn't mean it can't reappear again. Weather Service is going to hold on to that warning for a while longer, and we're not giving you the all clear in Bibb County, not yet. We need to watch this thing. You can tell from our live camera that the lightning still indicates this is a pretty mean storm out there. Look at all those cloud-to-ground lightning flashes being detected on the computer, and you can confirm that with the live pictures right now. So that's what we're seeing up toward Choctaw Mills. If you're in Pondville, things are improving in terms of a severe weather threat. You're still going to have the possibility of some hail in there, but the tornadic circulation now, or that possible tornadic circulation, is going to be a little bit more to the east of you there, as well as Harrisburg. It's going to be to the north of you. So again, we're watching this right around the Spencer area. That's where the tornado warning is, or that storm that they have warned for that possible tornado right in this area. This is going to be just to the north of Duff Settlement in Bibb County. Let's show you the big picture again. I want to give you an update on what's going on with the rest of the area. Bunch of rain right now across Walker County. Also seeing that in Blount County. Birmingham finally seeing the rain. Nothing severe in here. We're looking at really a pretty cooperative weather system that's moving through that part of our viewing area. Earlier, just some incredible storms that moved through the Tennessee Valley. We did have the tornado warning for parts of Madison, Limestone, and back into Lawrence County, where we did have some damage, and we had 2 fatalities in Town Creek and multiple injuries. At this point, I believe 4 injuries in Town Creek. Marengo County also had some damage as well as some injuries there. I'm going to check in with the National Weather Service, and right now,
but just looking at that, JP, it's still a very dangerous storm here.
It is.
You look at the Weather Service pointed this out a few moments ago. This is what happens when these storms, they kind of evolve and kind of like a little comma type structure here. And right in this area, when we see this in the winter months and during the fall severe weather season, when we have a lot of these, that's kind of the area right there where that little kind of comma shape shows up on the radar where the tornado would be, right in that zone. Now we go over to the velocity and we get into the velocity data, and yet again the data where it appeared as it was weakening a little bit, we're still seeing those inbound outbound winds right there.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. It's intensifying
kind of
again.
ramped up again.
So Centerville and anywhere right there, Highway 5, Highway 82, pretty much south of Eola to Centerville right now, everyone really needs to be inside. We're going to have some strong winds about to move through.
Yeah, Weather Service, they were looking at that weakening, and again, they're going to hold on to that warning through at least 10 p.m. because of these cycles that we're seeing with this storm. Also, we're seeing indications that we may have some higher winds. I was watching up into western portions of Walker County, around Parrish and Jasper, just kind of keeping an eye on an area there where we have some higher winds and maybe a kind of a broader circulation. I don't think it's going to warrant a warning, but it is something that we're keeping an eye on. So let's go ahead and take the radar up full screen. I want to get in here and show you some cities and some different communities that are going to be impacted. By the way, Pondville, it's moved out of your area. Look at this thing. Bright red and purple indicates we're talking about a bunch of hail with this and intense rainfall. This is going to be County Road 58, Choctaw Hills right now, seeing that possible tornado or that severe weather right through there. Ingate, also another area. County Road, that's going to be 28, County Route 6, all areas. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this, Wes, right over here. And this is going to be, I think that... that's going to be, is that Splawn Drive there, Montevallo Road?
Yeah, Montevallo Road.
Montevallo Road. Those are places that if you're in those areas, you need to make sure you're taking your severe weather precautions there in Bibb County. Centerville area, we've got Jill Gilardi positioned there. Let's go back into, since we have this view right now, let's go back into the velocity mode. And right here, this is going to be around Choctaw Hills. This is moving just slightly to the north of Centerville right now. Intense lightning, and if we've got Jill on the live view, I'd like to go back to Jill and ask her a couple of questions if she's still available. Jill's there in Bibb County monitoring this storm. Jill, incredible rain and the lightning has been nonstop. Have you noticed the wind at all picking up where you are, Jill?
I mean, the rain is so torrential right now, and I want to keep repositioning because every time I change the position, it's almost like, you know, that little weakening couplet, it still seems like it's coming right at me. So what we're going to do is go 25 north, which is, it intersects part of 82. That was the east and west route. So I'm just going to go 25 north right now out of Centerville just to kind of stay away from this, because I did notice the wind started to pick up a little bit more as that weakening circulation was getting close to moving over the top of us. And so I'm basically just going away from it because I'm not going to mess around since you can't see anything. I mean, no matter how much lightning, I mean, we're enclosed in a vehicle and it is pouring buckets. You can't see anything. So our goal again is to go 25 north and stay ahead of this and hope that it continues to weaken. So we will continue to provide those live views of this storm, this tornado-warned storm as it passed through the Brent and Centerville area in Bibb County.
All right, thank you very much, Jill Gilardi. By the way, the severe thunderstorm warning now for Watauga, Bibb, Chilton, and Dallas counties until 10:45. Again, a brand new warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now for Watauga, Bibb, Chilton, and Dallas counties until 10:45. This warning issued by the National Weather Service office in Birmingham. So back to our severe weather coverage. This storm very close to Centerville right now. That's what we're dealing with, a storm that is capable of producing a tornado, still a circulation that is pulsing up and down. At points, it looks like it is going to go away, but here it comes again, and we're seeing the couplet is what we call this, the red and the green close together. This is the point where those winds, where we're seeing the outbound and the inbound winds, and now we've got a new radar update. Wes, let's go ahead and clear this off and zoom in on this. This is the latest volume scan from the radar. Right through here, so it's going to be moving to the northeast now, Choctaw Hills, and we're seeing some circulation there. Brittany Dion is at the EMA office in Bibb County. And Brittany, the last time we talked to you, folks were hunkered down. We had the sirens going off. Brittany, what's the situation there right now, if you can hear me?
Yeah, that's right, JP. As you instructed everyone to go into their safe places, we took your advice and came inside of the building here, inside of the EMA in Bibb County. Now, I'll step out of the way here so you can see the folks. This entire hallway here is packed full of families, folks bringing their pets down, entire families here, folks here in their pajamas. One officer came in and said he got up from home and came down here for safety and people wanting to keep their families safe, as they are definitely taking this storm seriously. As you saw earlier in our last live hit, there There was a lot of lightning. It's drizzling a little bit, so the roads are wet here in Bibb County. And for the folks at home who may be watching right now, if you're not taking this seriously, you probably should. I just spoke with the EMA director, Kurt Smith, and he says that all of these shelters in Bibb County are open. So if you feel like you do not have a safe place inside of your home, please get somewhere safe as this storm moves through this area. Again, JP, a lot of folks taking your warnings very seriously tonight. Lots of families here at the EMA here in Bibb County. And of course, we're going to hunker down inside as well and wait for it to be safe enough for us to go outside and see what this storm does to this county.
All right, Brittany, be safe there at EMA. It looks very close to the Brent area right now. The pictures we're looking at, that's Jill Gilardi and Mike Tucker in the First Alert Storm Tracker, repositioning themselves once again away from the storm. And again, it looks like it's cycling back down. So we had a very pronounced couplet, or an area where you had inbound and outbound winds indicating you had a circulation or maybe even a tornado there. Now it's starting to weaken a little bit, but you see this is a kind of a weak, what we call a weak echo region. Could mean this whole storm here is kind of rotating around this area. So if we had a tornado, it would be generally in this area that would be just to the north of Centerville. So again, Centerville, you're in the warned area. Choctaw Hills, this is going to be just to the east of you. You may still have some higher winds here that could produce some damage, but I think up toward Gary Springs and Montevallo Road, this is where we need to watch. And this storm is hightailing it up towards Shelby County, moving at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So a first alert for Shelby County. It may not make it that far, but I want you to at least start thinking about your severe weather precautions in case it does. Southern Shelby County, Calera area, Montevallo, all could be in the path of this possible tornado if it does indeed hold together. Just over here, checking the Weather Service information. That warning is going to go until 10 o'clock at least from the Weather Service. So it has about another 18 minutes on it. You can see that is the tornado warning, includes the 6-mile area as well. Farther to the south in Perry County, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and you may have some winds here moving toward Perryville. This may end up making its way into Chilton County. We've already got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Chilton County right now because of what's coming in out of Bibb County and also what we're seeing in Perry County. So lots to watch there. This is a very active part of our viewing area, and this is what we really emphasized earlier today. Areas south of Interstate 2059 and west of I-65, that would really be the hotbed for any kind of severe weather development. That's what we've seen thus far. Elsewhere, it's been mainly rain in our viewing area. Then farther north, of course, we had fatalities in Town Creek in Lawrence County. So right now, tornado warning continues for Bibb County. We're seeing a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that portion of Bibb County and also in Perry County. So certainly, this is all skewing toward the southern portion of our viewing area. I think if this does indeed go into Shelby County, it's going to stay right there near the Chilton and Shelby County line, kind of hug that line. Tornado watch in effect until 4 a.m. now. They've expanded that watch to include our eastern Alabama counties, so they're going to leave that in there. So we're going to be up here all night here in the First Alert Weather Center watching these storms as they move across. I don't anticipate a big tornado threat during the overnight hours, but still there's enough wind shear there and instability. They have to go ahead and put the watch there. Let's show you the big picture, kind of reset the view and show you what's going on elsewhere across our area and put it back into 2D mode there, clear some of this out. Right through here, this is mainly rain. We're seeing some thunderstorm development here. It would be very difficult really to see a lot of this get going as it goes farther to the east. We'll watch that just in case, but I would concern myself southern Talladega County, Coosa County, Tallapoosa County, and Clay County. As these storms move farther to the east, that may be something that we have to watch very closely during the overnight hours. So most of what we're seeing right now is rain. May pick up some gustier winds through Walker County, through the Jasper area. In fact, we can zoom in on this, and we'll head back into Bibb County here in just a few moments. But right there, let's zoom into Walker County. And you're seeing around Corinth, Boldo, Argo, Cordova, heavy rain, gusty winds moving through here. Parrish, I want to give you a first alert. You got some heavy wind that's going to be moving through there. When I say that, I mean probably 25 to 30 mile per hour winds. And we're also looking over toward the east, mainly rain in St. Clair County. Don't really see a whole lot of thunderstorm activity. Still, Coleman County up around Hanceville, Walter, Royal, on into Blount County. We do have some stronger storms. Still quite a bit of cloud to ground lightning in those areas. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect up around DeKalb County right now. And portions, that would be portions of northern Marshall County. We'll get back into Bibb County and show you what's going on right now. Let's go back into our velocity mode there and take a look at this and see what cycle this is on. And it's kind of gone away again. We'll have to hold on and see how that's looking. But right now, that storm is not looking quite as strong in terms of a tornado signature right now. But we have to hold on to that. It tends to do this, and then 2 or 3 minutes later, you start seeing that tornado circulation come back. So that's why the tornado warning does continue right now for Bibb County. Let's zero in on this area where we do have that circulation, and we want to give you a first alert where the worst of the weather is going to be. And we'll go ahead and get in there a little bit tighter. And Antioch right through here, also a little circulation around Gary Springs. So those are places that we're watching right now as the storms push off toward the northeast. Wes?
All right, JP, I was just noticing here from the National Weather Service at Vaden Field in Perry County, a 41 mile per hour wind gust. That's associated with this line of strong to severe storms. If you're watching us in Chilton County, get ready for 40, 50 mile per hour winds, possibly some higher gusts. Now, Jemison, Maplesville, Plantersville, anywhere along Highway 82 between Centerville and the Maplesville area. That's where we're about to get some of those strong winds. Right now, it looks like over here around places like the Randolph area, western Bibb County right now, some of those strong straight line winds certainly possible. If there's a tornado here, we're most concerned very close to 6 Mile. It looks like that tornado threat has now passed a lot of folks. We went to Brittany a few moments ago. They're waiting on the all clear here in Centerville. They're in the shelter. Let me get in here a little bit closer so we can see where that signature is. And it has passed by. Well, it's kind of tough to find it in here. It's kind of the circulation's become a bit more broad, but that has passed on by Centerville at this point. Centerville, it looks like the worst tornado threats back in here, but closer to Antioch and 6 Mile. That's all going to be crossing. This is around Oakley, Lawley, Highway 139 out in here in the eastern part of Bibb County. There's Montevallo here, Briarfield area. So if you're watching there, basically Montevallo and points to the south into Chilton County. That's where we're going to have some of those stronger winds moving through. So the National Weather Service, they may totally replace, if we don't see that tornadic signature show up again, they may just replace that with a severe thunderstorm warning. So your weather radios are going off. Maybe that weather app here in East Alabama, a new tornado watch issued, but that does include counties further south to I-85. That's why that warning goes through 4 o'clock in the morning. So I think for a good portion of our area, like Calhoun County's been added, Cherokee, Clay, Coosa, some of these counties will likely be dropped well before this watch expires early tomorrow morning. Things, JP, seem to be moving along here. For most of us, it's just rain, a little breezy out there, kind of chilly on the back side of this once we get into the morning hours tomorrow. The biggest issue is just where we showed earlier today. It's going to be these locations here to the south. And for southern Talladega County, Coosa County, really need to watch those areas as we go into the evening hours.
Yeah, I think, we had those eastern counties added, and Wes, I think you're right. It's going to skew more to the south. I think perhaps Ashland southward, down toward Alexander City, Rockford and Coosa County. Those are places that we need to watch. Chilton County, of course, and we're starting to see the other counties cleared out. I don't think we're going to be dealing with weather until 4 a.m., to be honest with you. They do have the watch until 4 a.m. I think a lot of this is going to be gone by then, but right now we are seeing a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Chilton County. And Wes reported over at the Vaden Airport, that's in Perry County, over 40 mile per hour winds. Well, those winds are going to be pretty potent as they do make their way through Chilton County. So be aware of that. That means Jemison, Also, Thorsby, Clanton, you're going to have some higher winds. And what Wes is doing, just painting where the higher winds, the stronger storms are going to be over the next hour. And this thing's really moving on through. Childersburg area, 1050, that's where it's going to be. Sylacauga, also down toward Dollar, Lay Lake area, that is where we're going to be looking at those higher winds. So it's going to be clear. At least the worst part of it is going to be clear of Chilton County by around 10:30, 10:45. Let's go back into Bibb County. About 10 more minutes officially on that tornado warning for Bibb County. They may, let's keep our fingers crossed on that one, they may allow that one to expire. We've gone some time now, and we haven't seen that thing cycle back up. So let's revisit Bibb County again and take a look at that data. And we'll go back into our velocity mode right here. And it's going to be right in here that we're starting to see, that is not showing up like it was. So that's good news there as this storm gets a little bit closer. And the radar's getting a great picture of this right now because it's really not that far from the Shelby County radar. So we continue to see improvement. If we don't see any changes with this, I think the Weather Service, they will let this expire at 10 o'clock for Bibb County, and they may end up issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of southern Shelby County. We'll have to wait and see, but right now officially tornado warning does continue through 10 o'clock for Bibb County. Jill Gilardi's there. She has been tracking this storm. She drove all the way from Marion County to get repositioned to intercept this storm, and she had to move several times because this thing just kind of started moving around a little bit. And, storm tracking and storm chasing at night is a tough business. You have to be geographically positioned in the right place, and it's just darn hard to see these storms and get a good visual on them, obviously, when it's dark out there. But we're seeing this storm making its way toward Ashby and Wilton. This is going to be in southern portions of Shelby County. So southern portions of Shelby County, a first alert. You're going to be looking at perhaps some higher winds moving toward the Calera area, also northern parts of Chilton County. So just want to let you know, I know Chilton County already have that severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. Good news is Centerville, this thing's cleared you. All clear for Centerville. You're not in the warning now. Areas west of Centerville and south of Centerville, looking fine. This is going to be just to the northeast now of Centerville, and it's going to be making its way a little bit closer to Shelby County. I don't think it will continue to be a tornado threat through southern Shelby County. We'll have to wait and see, but the way it's shaping up and the radar trends that we're seeing, the data we're seeing, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But man, it's going to be a heavy rain producer, and probably 30, 40 mile per hour winds at least as that pushes on through. Did you see that? By around 10:50, we've got these storms into Sylacauga. So I want to give you the first alert there. And we're going to be looking at Columbiana by around 10:20, 10:30, crossing I-65 at about 10:15. They're really getting the move on, moving off to the east and northeast at about 45 to 50 miles per hour. So you're up there 50 miles per hour. You're close to 1 mile a minute. It does not take long for these storms to cover some serious ground. Clanton area about 10:20, Lomax at 10:22. So 9:53 right now. I'm just going to step over here and see if we have any updated information from.
Yeah, I've been watching the weather service here, JP, and we're no word whether a new warning is going to be a tornado warning issued for Shelby County. Right now, it looks like we're just hanging on to this one here in Bibb County, but this is still, even though I know we're focused on that tornado warning, this looks a lot like what we saw over North Alabama earlier today. We had this complex of storms. I mean, we had reports out of Mississippi, over 60 homes there north of Tupelo with damage. I mean, it was widespread wind damage, and then we kind of saw it transition to where is the tornado? Is it straight line winds, or is the tornado embedded in here?
Well, what you end up with is an issue where you have this wide area of 50, 60 mile per hour winds, and that may be the case as this moves through Chilton County. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're watching in Chilton County, you may lose electricity. Make sure you have your weather app handy so you can watch us on that. a radio, NOAA weather radio, flashlight, because with these kind of winds, a power outage is not without question. These are going to be fairly gusty winds. And I'm going to go ahead and say, even if you're in southern portions of Shelby County, say Alabaster southward through Calera and Columbiana, you're probably going to end up with some very, very gusty winds as these storms move off to the east. So this is going to be a pretty strong batch of storms making their way on into Coosa County. What Wes is showing you is the future radar. Over the next 60 minutes or so, Sylacauga and Childersburg, we're going to be looking at those higher winds, and this is going to be doing its business here around the Mariah area, and also Gold Branch, Bradford, and Goodwater. So I want you to be aware of that. And back to the west, we start to see some considerable improvement in Lamar County and back into Pickens County. Pretty heavy rain now making its way toward Warrior. If you're watching in northern Jefferson County around the Warrior area, you're going to pick up some higher winds there. Up to the north, northern Blount County, pretty intense rain and wind moving into Etowah County. So a messy, messy night weather-wise here in the First Alert Weather Center, and we're still watching that tornado warning that's in effect right now for Bibb County. Just kind of looking out of the corner of my eye, does not look like, well, we have a TDS here I'm seeing in Bibb County?
Yes. Yeah, I was looking at that. Looks like maybe I want to go in here and look. That's a tornado debris signature. You know, we had several of those through
we had that
Hale
earlier.
County.
Are we seeing that now? Right here. You see that right here?
Yeah.
Now remember, with the TDSs, what's going on, and Wes is going to bring that up, it's that little, it kind of went away there. With the TDS, you're looking at what's happened in the past. It's not the future. You have to have the wind, and then it produces the debris signature, and then it goes away. So that's what and you don't necessarily have to have a tornado for that either. You can have some higher winds that pull up something. So maybe, maybe not. We certainly have some indications there of some higher winds without any doubt with this. And you can see kind of the odd shape here. This is kind of in a line, and also here through Chilton County. I don't want you to let your guard down if you're in Jemison right now in Chilton County, because these higher winds are really going to get your attention and may do some damage. I would forecast those winds to be somewhere between 50 and 60 miles per hour in those areas. So I want to make sure that you are very much weather alert in Chilton County. But again, let's go back into Bibb County. I want to look at the velocity there in Bibb County, and nothing, it's really not standing out like it was. I'm seeing where you have some higher winds there, but we're looking at several of the radar products.
Let's go back
there.
and let's try to loop this back,
Yeah.
JP, and try to find this in here one more time. It's the circulation right here. I want to circle this. Let's watch this right in this zone and just kind of see how this evolves over time. Move right over Centerville, and still just kind of a very broad rotation now that's showing up. It's evolving more into a line. You know, the thing is, you're probably going to have some winds in here, 50, 60 miles per hour, and even the kind of straight line winds that could produce damage similar to that of a EF0, EF1 type tornado with this, even as it moves in. Let's see, we got location. So we got some spotters out there reporting to the National Weather Service, but we got folks all positioned there along Interstate 65. You can see Calera, Jemison in the path of this line now, this little, we kind of call them kind of quasi-steady linear systems as they move to the east here, not necessarily just a straight line, but little bows and gusty winds. It's crossing Highway 82, Maplesville impacted. But it's moving to the east, and right now, JP, looks like Tuscaloosa, looks like we're going to be fine. In Tuscaloosa, West Blockton, Birmingham area.
Yeah, that's mainly rain. This is going to be all skewed really to the south as far as what we're seeing right now. Chelsea area, heavy rain. We're seeing that around St. Clair County. Some lightning up around the Hayden area. We're coming up on 10 o'clock right here in WBRC Fox 6 News. We've been in severe weather coverage for a while now. We're watching this in northern Blount County as well. Just want to give you kind of the broad view of what's going on. The one tornado warning that we are looking at is in Bibb County right now. Tornado warning in effect for Bibb County. We continue with more severe weather coverage here on WBRC 5-6.
Live and on your side. WBRC Fox 6 News starts with First Alert Weather.
And Chief Meteorologist JP Dice continues our team coverage of severe weather tonight. A tornado warning just expiring in Bibb County, JP.
Yeah, and right now we are looking at updates from the Weather Service. We're going to see if they're going to issue that one upstream. Wes Wyatt will pass that information along here shortly. Are they reissuing, Wes?
Yeah, it looks like they are going to reissue for Bibb, Chilton, and Shelby County a new tornado warning.
All right, new tornado warning for the same storm. That's going to be Bibb, Shelby, and Chilton County. This is the one that just will not seem to go away. So this is likely to be southern Shelby County. When this lights up here, this would be including the Calera area and then on into Jemison and Hubbard. And make sure, let's just keep that up as high as we can because this banner will hide some of our weather map.
Looks like they're concerned right in here, JP. This little maybe trying to kind of spin up again right in that area.
Yeah.
Anytime you see a little kink like that, catches our eye.
Yeah, Ocampo, Jemison, and then Calera on up into Columbiana. We're not seeing it quite as impressive as it was before, but it's enough to warrant a new tornado warning that is going to continue to impact parts of Shelby County and northern Chilton County right now. So this area near Bessie, brand new tornado warning. This is going to be moving toward Jemison and Rocky Mount, Thorsby area. If you don't see a tornado with this, what you're going to probably experience is 60-plus mile-per-hour winds. So we could probably do what we call a squall track here and just kind of draw that out and take that out to about 45 or 50 miles per hour. And see what we come up with in terms of areas that could see some damage. And that would be Ocampo, South Calera, Jemison, looks like Calera, Rocky Mountain, 1005, Thorsby, 1006, Collins Chapel, 1008, Union Grove at 1008, with the potential there for high winds. Tornado watch across the area, much of the area, until 4 a.m. These storms moving through Chilton County right now. This is going to be the extreme southern portion of Shelby County. So when I say Shelby County, we're probably talking about right there, Columbiana and Calera, not including Alabaster, and maybe on in toward the Wilsonville area. You can see as we look at the map there, Columbiana, 4 Mile, Calera, looks like Rocky Mount, Jemison, and Bessie. Tornado warning in effect until 10:45 right now, issued by the National Weather Service. This does not include Chelsea, Alabaster, or Helena. Keep that in mind. Alabaster, Helena, and Chelsea not included in this. Inverness not included. It is going to be farther to the south, Columbiana and Calera, and it's going to be this area also right here, it really almost skirting just to the south of Double Oak Mountain is where the warning, the northern extent of that warning is, all the way down into Chilton County. So that's what we have right now. We'll show you a little bit more weather information here as we take a look, and I want to go back into our velocity mode. And, you know, we're super close, Wes, to the radar site, and we're not seeing, okay, storm tracker is near Wilton, right there, Shelby County. That's going to be to the south of Montevallo. We're seeing some circulation right here. This is going to be closer to Chilton County, around County Road 46.
Yeah, that's not far from the radar site at all. And you look at that, and it's still kind of broad. We're looking at what you're seeing on your screens, not necessarily, that's where we have the heaviest of the rain when you see the reflectivity. That's a look at where we have some rotation. We're just kind of jumping through a bunch of different products here and doing some live analysis with you here on WBRC. We have incredible tools here trying to figure out, you know, where, if we do have a tornado here, we've had several signatures, debris signatures and radar confirmations of some damage with some of these tornadoes and storms tonight. But as we look at this, actually, one area that we've been watching, and it still looks kind of
This is probably the
broad.
best it's looked all night, because it's looked pretty ugly when it was moving through Demopolis, where we had some damage, and also through Bibb County. Yeah, Wes?
And also just want to note here that Perry County's been dropped from that severe thunderstorm warning.
Good. So even though we're not seeing the classic circulation here on First Alert Doppler radar, what we are seeing indications of, and we can still confirm that just by the way this is looking on radar, you have some strong winds with this. And you may have some 50 or 60 mile per hour winds with this particular storm that is of great concern. This would be a situation where you'd see some power outages. Also, you can see the same kind of damage that you would see with an EF0 or even an EF1 tornado right now. So this is what we've got going on. This warning, in effect until 10:45, you're looking at live pictures of the storm tracker is going to be in the Wilton area right now in southern portions of Shelby County. Jemison, it's on top of you. Thorsby, it's like a minute away in terms of those higher winds. So Bibb, Chilton, and Shelby Counties tornado warning. This is almost out of Bibb County. This is going to be extreme southern Shelby County. Most of this is going to be in Chilton County over the next hour or so. But we're still not seeing that tight circulation, that tight rotation that we had earlier across Bibb County. Wes?
Yeah, JP, I want to see if I can pull up here. I was just talking to Jonathan. We got some reports. You know, Brittany's located at the shelter there in Centerville where that storm just actually passed through. If we can go to the Apple TV source, I want to bring this up and let you see. This was a view there. Brittany Dion sharing this, and it looks like maybe a piece of... Okay, Brittany, we're actually, I'm showing this picture that you just shared on Twitter from Centerville, and it certainly looks like there's maybe some felt or either some rugs. Obviously, it looks like there were some gusty winds there in your area. Just describe what you guys have gone through there.
Yeah, Wes, that rug that you see right there behind me there, it was there earlier. The wind is whipping here. It didn't bring that rug into this area, but the wind is definitely picking up. We still have rain here, but I will tell you we are getting some reports of power lines down in Brent near the Belcher area past the sawmill. Crews just left, deputies just left the EMA here going out to check on the area out near Palmville. And I also spoke with the EMA director who says that there are some damage near County Road 85 and 86 in Held County, but of course they're still assessing how much damage has been caused in this area. Now, fortunately, right now we have not heard any reports of anyone injured in the Bibb County Centerville area where I am right now, but of course they're continuing to tell folks to stay safe and be weather aware. Stay tuned into Fox 6 News here as we bring you the information that we have on what the storm is doing. But Wes, a lot of folks that were here at the EMA hunkered down. A lot of those folks have gone home now. A big sigh of relief when it first came out that the warnings and watches were expired for this area. But again, right now, all we have in this area right now are power lines down, no reports of any injuries. Back to you, Wes.
All right, Brittany, and by the way, just to point out, that picture was taken this evening, the intense lightning. It's just been nonstop there. But JP, you and I were just discussing the National Weather Service now detecting a tornado debris signature. We're trying to kind of dig through the radar data and see that, and it looks like it's right there on the Shelby, Bibb, Chilton County line.
Yeah, that's what they're indicating, Weather Service, in their discussion. It's not one of those that, there you go.
There we
That's
go.
it. You zoom in enough and you can see that. What's the name of that road right there?
That's Randolph Road.
Randolph Road, and there's where that debris signature is going to be. And what they're talking about is these little vortices that are forming along this line. So it's not your traditional tornado, but... it's still a circulation there. It's a tornadic circulation. It's a little bit different than what we were seeing in the Demopolis area. But as we watch this is that debris signature. It looks like this is going to stay to the south of Calera, but the radar is showing this really lofting something right there. So what we're going to do is get in here, and we're going to get as tight as we can and go through basically every street. We're going to label everything that we can see. In fact, I'm going to get over here so I can actually see it close up. And we're looking at County Road 54, and we're going to go through, let's see what we have right here. Where we have possibly some of that damage was County Road 104. This is going to be right near just to the south of the Shelby County line. This is right here. Technically, this is going to be in Chilton County. This is what we call the tornado debris signature. I'm going to circle this so you can see what I'm talking about. This is it. This is what the radar is picking up that looks to be debris. And we'll go ahead and show you. That is kind of the heart, the core of that storm. If you look at the velocity data, you really don't see it in there, but there's there is some wind in there with this that's just picking up some stuff. This is moving up toward Ocampo and Wessington. I think based on what we're seeing here, and the Weather Service folks were saying this too, this should stay to the south of the Shelby County Airport and even just to the south of Calera. But if you're around Dry Valley, you're going to be looking at some higher winds through there. And if you're anywhere along the Chilton and Shelby County line, I would expect some pretty gusty winds through there. Look at this. A lot of reflectivity indicates you may have some hail in here as well around Montevallo and Country Hills. Wilton, you may have some hail. By the way, if we've got Jill Gilardi, I know she was in the Wilton area. Maybe we can talk to Jill here shortly. Jill's in Montevallo, and Jill, I can see it is raining pretty intense. And how about the winds?
Well, it's been coming down in sheets. This actually has just let up. It was pretty wild here for a bit. We've had some gusty winds, storm tracker over 20 miles per hour. We've got, I think, a police officer just pulled over to our vehicle right now inquiring. But it looks like, JP, I've been kind of examining. I know you mentioned you were wondering about hail here. I have not seen any hail in this part. Again, we just entered Montevallo. And looking at my radar here, I don't really see much of a core right in this area, so that's some good news. So no hail. And the heaviest precipitation is now sliding east of us. So we've stopped because it's no fun trying to travel in this blinding rain we can barely see in front of us. But I've noticed, JP, you know, the Weather Service was talking about those little couplets and possible spin-ups, and that's exactly the places we had been. And I was like, we need to get out of here because this storm has been very interesting, how it's just kind of spinning up these little possible, you know, weak tornadoes. And so something that needs to be watched for sure over towards Calera. I know you guys are monitoring that very closely. So that is the latest right now. Again, the heaviest precipitation sliding now east of Montevallo. And it seems like things are calming down back to our west, which is some good news. Back to you guys in the studio.
And what we're looking at right here, this is going to be around, we're seeing a debris signature, Jill, is State Route 25. This is going to be tracking toward Calera. It's almost right there on the Shelby County line. So Calera, make sure that you are taking your severe weather precautions. This is going to be moving right across, and if there's any debris to be picked up, this is moving right across a quarry. There's a number of quarries there in southern Shelby County. This is to the west of Calera right now, but we're getting some indications that we have some higher winds around the area. We call it Roberta, right there, State Route 25, moving toward Calera. It's not to the interstate yet. Dry Valley and Roberta and around where those quarries are, that's where we're getting that debris signature.
Check this out. Confirmed tornado, according to the National Weather Service now, located near Calera, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. History of producing tornadoes, confirming tornado on the ground southeast of Montevallo. That was confirmed by the sheriff's office there in Shelby County, JP. So we've got some confirmation there of a tornado. Also, trees down in the area of Highway 155 and Highway 200 in the Montevallo area. You were just looking at debris. That was a debris signature right there. You see it, it's about to move over, JP, right here. This is lofted debris from a tornado right there. And that's what the radar is picking up.
And keep in mind, this has already happened. So the tornado itself or the higher winds are moving closer to Calera right now. So let's go ahead and get the velocity back. And we may have some even down farther to the south. This could be some debris down moving through, northern Chilton County. Right, if I head to right here around Roberta, let's go ahead and track right from here and then move this off toward the east-northeast at about 40 miles per hour and get some times of arrival. Calera, we're going to go ahead and put you in the path. Also, Columbiana will be in the path of this possible tornado. With these debris signatures, likely we are seeing something that is reaching the ground here to get you this kind of signature. So 10:16, that's about 3-4 minutes from Calera. Looks like Shelby Springs Springs at 10:22. Columbiana, we've been talking a lot about Columbiana. That's going to be at 10:31. Nelson at 10:34. 4 Mile at 10:38. This has not crossed the interstate yet, but it is getting very close. What Wes is showing you is what we call the debris tracker, and that is moving towards South Calera right now. So we've at least had a touchdown there. It doesn't take much to get a debris signature in that area. There's a lot of quarries here, and you can pick up a lot of sand, dirt, debris, things like that to get that lofted up. Up around Roberta, we've got, there's where we have one signature, and then we have one signature just to the south of Dry Valley. So what I want to do, let's go into future radar mode, and we're going to take you out over the next 60 minutes. I want to show you where these storms are going to be. So right now, Roberta and Dry Valley, we have trees down Montevallo. That's already happened there. Calera at about 10:20, moving toward Columbiana by 10:30, East Saginaw and the city of Shelby. So a first alert there. This is future radar showing you where these storms are going to be. Childersburg and Harpersville, it's going to be around 10:45 to 10:50. Stewartville in Coosa County, that's going to be closer to 11 o'clock, and eventually on toward Chamber Springs and Waldo in Talladega County. City of Talladega is going to be right there around 11 o'clock as well, if these do indeed hold together. So that's what we're expecting over the next 60 minutes. We'll take you back live right now with the radar as we show you what's going on with that storm that is approaching Calera and also northern portions of Chilton County. So let's go back into live radar mode, and we'll just kind of hold it here. Let's take this back full screen as this higher wind, and we'll raise it up a little bit to get above the banner there. All right, Clanton, by the way, I don't want to forget about you. This is going to be some higher winds moving into Clanton, perhaps 50, 60 mile per hour winds. Jemison is now to the past you in Jemison, moving toward Lay Lake area. Look at Calera right now. Let's go back into Calera and Alabaster. I want to stay on this, get as many streets and communities. This is going to be to the south of the Shelby County Airport. Calera starting to pick up those heavier winds right now. Stems area, and just now beginning to cross I-65 area. Shelby County, we've got reports of trees down. We told you this a few moments ago. Highway 155, and this is going to be Highway 200. Shelby Springs in a few minutes. This could be moving towards you. Also Columbiana here within the next, right now our current time's 10:16, so it's going to be around 10:30 for Columbiana. Make sure you're taking your severe weather precautions if you're in Columbiana. You are in that warned area. A tornado warning in effect right now for southern Shelby County as well as Chilton County until 10:45 right now. We're seeing the higher winds right through here. You can see a little rotation there.
Yeah, right in here. That's where we also have the debris signatures, right in this zone, and that is right over Calera, JP. I want to highlight this one more time. Let's take this out 40 miles per hour and just show you the times of arrival. Columbiana, this is moving in your direction. We're talking 10:31 there around Columbiana, Nelson area around 10:35, and the Homestead area around 10:43. What do we have here on the screen? Okay, so we've got Jill. You know, Jill's been tracking there along Montevallo Road between Montevallo and Centerville. So she's been, you know, passing places like 6 Mile right there on Highway 25. So she's actually caught up there to where some of that damage occurred. And we actually had the sheriff's office reported outside of Montevallo the damage. So that's where we're at right now on the scene. Okay, so we're gonna stay on top of this, JP. Let's check in with Jill. Jill, tell us what you're seeing out there.
Looks like there's. Yeah, right here. That did that. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just talking to the police officers here. We're going to reposition our vehicle. A tornado came through here and pushed their vehicle into a ditch. So we're going to turn around real quick so we can get this on our camera. I wasn't sure what kind of scene we were coming up on. But you can see that there's some kind of debris on the ground.
What road are you on, Jill?
On the highway here. This is 25.
Okay.
So we were originally on 25, and then we held off because there was some, spin-ups. And what's that?
Do I need to turn around?
If you could turn around, well, let me see if I can get the camera. It's kind of awkward in this little spot. I'm going to try and turn around the, see, this is the handy-dandy part of having one of these cameras you can rotate from the dome. So let me get this kind of centered up here. And then what I'll do is I'll zoom in, and hopefully you'll be able to see that there is the SUV.
Wow.
I don't know how clear the picture is here. It is literally in the ditch. The SUV is in the ditch.
So, Jill, that's the SUV with the flash.
so-
that's the police lights. That's
What
the
was that?
vehicle. Yeah, what we're seeing, the police vehicle that's in the ditch still has the blue lights on, right?
Yes, that was the worst of it, sir. That was the worst of it, sir. That went through. Yeah. The worst of its past, yes. So it looked like a tornado might have spin up here because the police were in position, and literally the officer said to me, you know what, this is what the tornado did to my vehicle. It pushed the vehicle into the ditch. So right now they're going to have to get a tow truck to come on out here to pull the police officer, the vehicle, out of the ditch. They're fine. Some other police officers came out to check out what happened here. You could see coming up 25, again, this is going a northbound, 25 north, which is kind of like you're traveling eastbound. And you could see there's a lot of leaf debris. I saw a couple branches down. So there was something that very quickly, probably a tornado, came quickly down right in this vicinity. And again, caused that police vehicle to go off the road into the ditch. And again, this is one of the many reports we've heard around Montevallo. This is a newer report we're getting right now. We're trying to kind of reposition. It's raining out right now, so I'm going to roll up the window a little bit. And I apologize for we're trying to rearrange the storm tracker real quick. Mike, are you turning around, or what are you?
Get a shot with my camera.
He's going to go set up his camera. Are we going to be able to show that, Mike, on TV?
Not at the same
No,
time.
not at the same time.
Do it.
Maybe can we switch it up? We'll go back, have them go. We'll go back to the studio real quick and try and switch it up. All right, that's what we're going to do real quick. We're going to switch it up so we can get the actual camera, a better camera on the scene. And so I'll let you guys know when you should come on back, and we
Okay.
can get a better visual for you.
All right, good job there, Jill. Stay safe. And that's one of the illustrations why we say don't be on the roads during severe weather. There's a police vehicle right there, still had the blue lights on, ended up in a ditch because of those higher winds, possibly a tornado there. We've had some debris signatures. There's still a tornado warning in effect right now for southern Shelby County and also for Chilton County. That warning until 10:45. The Bibb County, Bibbs County's out of it. So it's Chilton and Shelby counties right now until 10:45. I want to emphasize the Columbiana area. You may be looking at some higher winds. Also the city of Shelby in Shelby County. So let's raise this up just a little bit. I want to get in here and show you Columbiana and also the southern portion of Shelby County. So right here, Shelby Springs, Columbiana, Joinertown, you could be looking at some higher winds, possibly another one of those little vortices, a little tornadoes that forms with this. And then a bigger threat, I think, and that's going to mean a severe thunderstorm warning for Coosa County. Can you see this? How this thing's just bowing out. This is moving out of Chilton County and moving into Coosa County, Kelly's Crossroads, the Rockford area. You're going to be dealing with some high winds. Hidden Valley, also another one of those areas where we're going to be looking at some higher winds. When I say high winds, wouldn't surprise me through Coosa County if you get some 50 or 60 mile per hour winds. We are seeing the heavy rain moving through Clanton right now. It has cleared Jemison. You still have some pretty intense cloud to ground lightning there. Also the Highland area and moving toward Cooper and Verbena. You're going to have some high winds in the Verbena area, and that's going to happen within about the next 5 to 10 minutes. So right now, I'd hate to be driving along I-65. Currently in Chilton County around Clanton, Highway 31, it's a mess. This is some pretty intense weather moving into Coosa County. And again, in Shelby County, emphasizing Shelby Springs, also Columbiana, farther to the north across Alabaster, Helena, the Chelsea area. I'm not seeing that severe weather, but we are really needing to pay attention to the Columbiana area and any place right there along the Shelby and Chilton County line, because we've had some trees down, we've had vehicles put in ditches, we've had some debris signatures there. So that is, again, an area that we're really showing a lot of emphasis to. Wes?
Just want to note that right now we're looking at Shelby County underneath the tornado warning. We have severe thunderstorm warning for Chilton and also for Coosa counties for the line. The area where we've had the tornadic damage, the tornado threat, it's right in here around Columbiana, what's left of it around 4 Mile. That's kind of moving to the north. This may try to flare up again. It's just like what we saw earlier, one of these sort of quasi-linear lines move through the Tennessee Valley where we had embedded tornadoes, we had damaging wind gusts, and right now the big concern for places like Clanton is going to be damaging straight line winds, possibly as high as 70 miles per hour. That's about to cross the river here and enter into Coosa County. So if you're watching us there, Lay Lake right now, in fact, we're dealing with some of those high winds and strong, heavy rainfall, maybe even some large hail right here around Blue Springs, back towards the Quincy area. We'll just check that out and see, just look at where we actually had some large hail earlier, and right now it seems like that's being detected around the Clanton area. This is our hail detection as we look at our severe weather triple threat here, where we have the high winds and the threat of tornadoes. Again, the risk of tornadoes, if we go back over, that's going to be into Shelby County. We had some debris signatures earlier around Calera. Just looking at the debris signature right now. Actually, just got a report in here, Bibb County damage to the looks like a building there on Highway 139, Creek Dental there on Highway 139 in Bibb County. Looks like maybe some damage there. That's from Shelby County. And then the National Weather Service, they are going to continue this tornado warning that we have right now for Shelby County until 10:45. I know a lot of folks watching here around Chelsea and watching to the north here along Highway 280, and where we had some of the strongest wind gusts, that was actually south of Chelsea at this point. This the worst part of the storm's moving around 4 Mile, Wilsonville, Harpersville, and Childersburg, kind of tracking in that general direction based on what we see here. Birmingham, we're getting some loud rumbles of thunder. Just heard that here on Red Mountain. We had thunder on the mountain. Here in Birmingham right now, it's mostly just rain with some embedded thunder. No warning for Jefferson County. Just to the north for folks that are up, we do have some noisemakers out there tonight. Coleman County, Blount County, no warnings. For Etowah County, no warnings.
I tell you what, Wes, you know, this watch goes until 4 a.m., but at the rate this is moving, you know, by 1 a.m., most of this is going to be gone. If you look back at that weather map, back out to the west, we're already starting to see things clear out. Right here, this is kind of the main event that we're watching right now, and that's that Boeing segment moving into Coosa County, right through here, moving eastward, and this is all moving at about 40 miles per hour. So we're talking about the next couple hours. That's going to move on out, and this rain will eventually clear on out after midnight. So right there, Coosa County, I want to give you that first alert. Kelly's Crossroads, Rockford, you're going to be looking at the winds 50-plus miles per hour. Also in Columbiana, that's a possibility on through maybe the Wilsonville area, on through Childersburg and Sylacauga. You may pick up some higher winds here over the next hour or so. Tornado warning officially is continuing for Shelby County until 10:45. I will say you're not seeing anything that in the classic sense of what you would typically see as a tornado on radar, but you didn't really see that with what we had in Montevallo either. We had some debris signatures that popped up out there. 4 Mile, Columbiana, also moving toward the Childersburg area. Right now, Columbiana, I want to make sure you're in your safe place because, again, you may be looking at those winds that are fairly strong, maybe a little circulation in there. We could have a smaller tornado that ends up doing some damage. And if you're out ahead of this, we're going to have some higher winds too. So 50, 60 mile per hour winds in the Chelsea area. I don't see the tornado threat there, but still, I can't rule out some pretty gusty winds through there, making their way toward Westover and even the Harpersville area right along Highway 280. So this is pretty intense weather. Some of the worst that I'm seeing right now may be in eastern Chilton County, making its way on into Coosa County at this hour. Wes?
All right, and go over to one of our tools that we have here. This is our exclusive future radar. I want to take you through the next 1 hour, and just looking at how fast this is going to be moving through, we'll likely see some of these watches trimmed away much sooner tonight. Let's take you over to the future radar, and let me walk you through this. Right now, we're zoomed in over Shelby County. We'll start off here in Shelby County and just show you the timing here. Now, by the way, areas to the west, if you're watching around Melville, Tuscaloosa, a place like that, the severe threat threat is winding down. We're most concerned right now about what's moving through Columbiana and Wilsonville, and I want to walk you through this. You can see that that line moves through Childersburg, Sylacauga, there's 1054, Talladega, here we go right here, Talladega around 1113. Notice how that kind of lifts even further to the northeast, Coldwater Mountain area perhaps there around 1130 tonight. But as this moves further north, hopefully it becomes a little bit more elevated, kind of weakens a little bit, and not as much surface-based instability there as this kind of moves on off to the north. Let's get you in a little bit further south here. Our friends in Chilton County watching, we got those strong gusty winds now impacting along the I-65 corridor here in Chilton County. There is Rockford around 1053, Sylacauga, looks like Rockford and Pentonville, all those areas there, 1053 times of arrival. New data coming in. Alexander City looks like by 1130 for us in Alexander City. And southern Clay County, there around Bluff Springs, just kind of timing this out. Ashland, Bluff Springs, Goldville, New Site, Greenbrier around 1129. The reason we're still with you right now, it's 10:30. You're watching WBRC Fox 6 with JP here, with Jill's in the storm tracker, and we're going to try to get some more of those pictures and scenes in, JP. We were just off of Highway 25. That's between Montevallo and Centerville, where we had some debris detected by radar earlier. We got some damage. Actually, an officer there that was monitoring the weather situation, and actually some of those strong wind gusts rolled through and actually blew the vehicle off the road. And we're going to follow up and see if we have any other reports in that area as well.
Yeah, Jill and Mike Tucker, they're out there right now. They're going to get some pictures, better pictures. They were getting video from the camera on top of the storm tracker earlier. This was right around the Montevallo area. You could see the police unit that was in a ditch got blown off the road. This is the area where we had those debris signatures. Right now, we do have severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now for Coosa County, Chilton County, severe thunderstorm warning, and the tornado warning canceled for Shelby County. Tornado warning canceled for Shelby County, so we can go ahead and adjust that to the graphic on the screen. So right now we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Coosa County as well as Chilton County because of this pretty intense line of thunderstorms. Wes, it wouldn't surprise me, and I've seen this before, where you have a line that looks like this. Even though there's not a tornado warning, you still may have 50 or 60 mile per hour winds moving toward the Rockford area. You're looking at Lay Lake, where these winds, Lake Mitchell, where the winds are going to be incredibly high. Right there, look at that wind shift indicated on Doppler radar. So we're seeing improving conditions, Clanton and Thorsby, but the severe weather threat is going to continue as this line of storms continues to push off toward the east, toward Rockford, Bentleyville, and Hanover. Dollar seeing some of that right now, and it's eventually going to make its way toward Alexander City in Tallapoosa County. So these are strong storms right now showing up around the Cooper area. Let's move up through Shelby County because the rain, it is still there, and perhaps even some pretty intense lightning moving into Wilsonville right now, moving across the Coosa River, and within about the next 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to be looking at those storms in Childersburg. On into Talladega County. Harpersville, it's moving towards you. The back edge of that, the heavier rain, beginning to really lose some of its oomph there in Chelsea. So we're starting to see some improving weather there in Chelsea. Looking back towards Sumter County, showing you the Livingston area, just kind of checking things out. Demopolis, we had reports of damage in Demopolis earlier this evening. Right now, first alert Doppler radar, still plenty of rain out there in those areas. Not seeing anything really that is showing anything severe. So nothing severe in those areas. They're still monitoring Shelby County. That circulation is not very organized in Shelby County, so we're going to kind of move the map back, show you a live look at Shelby County. This is the Chelsea view, Boardman and Carr. The heavy rain has stopped. It's 65 degrees, still light rain. Winds out of the west-northwest today. Did have a wind gust there in Chelsea up to 21 miles per hour, but visibility looking a lot better there in that part of Shelby County. But over toward Columbia and Wilsonville, very heavy rain and may have some gusty winds. Also, Lake Mitchell area and Rockford, Parts of Coosa County, a heads up. If you're in Alexander City over the next hour or so, you're going to pick up some pretty gusty winds there. Temperatures coming down just a little bit, down into the mid-60s. We do have the tornado watch in effect until 4 o'clock in the morning. So lots going on out there right now. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Chilton and Coosa County. So the weather situation is gradually looking a little better, but still plenty of rain to show you right now. You can see that rain, pretty impressive line there moving into Coosa County right now, and this is going to be moving on into Talladega County. Childersburg before too long. Moving farther to the south, down toward Otaga County and also Dallas County, the Selma area. We're seeing some pretty strong storms there. I know that's covered up by the banner on the screen, but right through there where my hand is, but the majority of that weather looks like it is going to remain to the south. I don't see any severe weather threat back west of Interstate 65. In fact, we have Tuscaloosa County has been taken out of the watch, as well as Fayette, also Marion, Lamar, Pickens counties. So, in fact, Wes, if you clear off some of the precipitation there, I'll show you the counties that are no longer in the watch. The tornado watch is in effect until 4 a.m. That is mainly for areas east of Interstate 65. So we're quickly clearing out those tornado watch counties, and we're going to be looking at improving weather. Right now, the worst of that weather, in fact, Chilton County, majority of Chilton County no longer under the severe thunderstorm warning. It is now Coosa County, most of Coosa County. This is now cleared Clanton. We're still looking at some pretty intense storms there right around the Cooper area. This is moving toward Dollar and the Lyle and the Rockford here as Wes adds back in the precipitation here on our, basically our color palette on our system. Bonaire and Childersburg, you're going to see some heavy rain. I don't think those storms are going to be severe. As we do a little slicing and dicing here with that line of storms moving through parts of Coosa County, you'll see it's not very tall. These are not incredibly high storms. They're really topping out at about 30,000 feet, maybe 25,000 feet. As they move into an area that is a little bit more stable, those storms continue to weaken somewhat. But it's going to be a while before they're completely weakened on out. They are still holding together as an impressive line, mainly producing straight line winds. So I want to give you a heads up, a first alert if you're